the loss of lives.
Photographic evidence has been led in the Senzomeyiwa trial linking one of the alleged intruders with the description given by witnesses. The state recalled a police officer to the stand to testify on the photos after Judge Rata Mokgwatleng granted the state its application. The court has been dealing with the photos of the second accused, Bongani Ntanzi. Ntanzi is one of 5 men who are standing trial for the Bafana Bafana captain's 2014 murder. Khomotso says in court for us.
From the very first picture that State Advocate Ronnie Sibanda showed to Warrant Officer Lawrence Ndlovu, it was clear that the facial description of Bongani Ntanzi was his focus. Sibanda honed in on a feature that could be seen in almost all Ntanzi's pictures from 2019 and 2020.
During the time this person took this picture of himself, he had the beard that is more of an O shape.
The O-shaped beard is how Meyiwa's friend Dumelo Madlala described one of the alleged intruders, but Ntanzi's lawyers had previously denied that he had such a beard, saying he could not even grow a beard in that shape. Ntanzi also wore a hoodie in almost all his pictures, an item which several witnesses, including Zandi Khumalo, recalled the intruder wore. Khomotso, Eyewitness News at the Pretoria High Court.
And business rescue practitioners at Mango Airlines say they are cautiously optimistic the carrier could take to the skies again soon. The state-owned airline, which last reported a profit in 2018, was grounded in 2021 following a tough financial run. Nokukanya Mtambo has the details.
Business rescue practitioner Sipho Sono says it's crunch time for Mango Airlines in a transaction that's crucial for the company's recovery.
We are at a point where we are finalizing the transaction with the investor. Unfortunately, I can't divulge the details.
He says the BRPs are currently busy with verification of unflown ticket liabilities.
We are engaged in a process to where such customers can go online on Mango's website and register their details so that when the time is right for Mango to resume, they will then be issued vouchers to the value of their tickets.
If the transaction doesn't go through, customers with unused tickets will then become creditors. Nokukanya Mtambo, Eyewitness News.
A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Firing questions here. Rulani Mugana is my guest. You were saying that you have conversations with the president as early as 48 hours ago.
Yeah.
You had a chat with him.
Yeah.
So then who delivers the news to you? Because there are all sorts of things saying that, you've suffered significant psychological pressures, end quote.
Not true.
I mean, are these things that you agreed to? Because...
No.
Then where do they come from?
Is that not everybody will be for you and try, and that's why if you go to the WeDad website, that statement was actually removed 10 minutes after it was posted. I was prepared to step down because there was a lot of talk. I worked so hard to bring so many of the players, almost all of them for free. I have to sometimes from my own pocket pay some of the players, pay some of the staff, go and buy training equipment from my own pocket, invest in the club, and then I have a vice president of the club asking me, do you love this club? And that's when I said to the president, there's a misalignment somewhere. I could hear that the talk was, no, all he wants is just to go and play Club World Cup and Pep Guardiola and then he'll be out. And I said to the president, if that's the thinking, then I'll just finish the season and I'll go.
And Coach Augusto Palacios has just called us. Good evening, Coach.
Welcome to South Africa. We're listening all interview. Apart from there, we follow you in Wide Morocco. And to say to you what you achieve in your age is a blessing, because with 38 years old and you went to...
Hicham Aitmena is the person that brought you on board. So he would look after, he would know why he brought you on board. And that's why he is the president and the other one is the vice president. So you can't be a vice president and have aspirations of being the president.
I saw him in the office and cordially I extended a hand. I could feel that it was mission accomplished from his side.
But to achieve what?
I don't know. You speak too much to the president and you don't speak to me. And I was like, but it's yeah. So maybe it was yeah.
Robert Marawa, live on 947.
Let's go.
Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, it's not every day that we warm you up, guys, when it is so cold. And we say to you that we, tonight, have got 5 VIP tickets for you and 4 of your friends. For what? You keep listening to the show, though. And if you've been following a big revolution of the Professional Fighters League, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. So all of you massive fans, stay tuned. You can even start dialing right now because these 5 VIP tickets could be for you. Whether you're in Cape Town or Johannesburg, you can start dialing 011-888-947. This is #MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
All right, that's why tonight we are very, very excited because we're going to be stepping into the heart of a revolution. A bit of seismic shift, though, in the world of mixed martial arts, the Professional Fighters League, otherwise known as the PFL. It is the fastest growing MMA organization on the planet. I mean, it's got its sights set right here on the African continent. And it's not just bringing fights, it's also bringing a massive movement that will reshape the sport forever. Now, next month, guys, listen very carefully. The iconic Grand West Arena in Cape Town becomes, the playing ground for the long-awaited debut of PFL Africa. But it isn't just an event. I mean, it's a spark of a legacy that will echo across combat sports world. Then on the 9th of August, the battle does intensify at the Big Top Arena in Carnival City, right here in Johannesburg. Now, there's Africa's fiercest warriors. They're going to be going head-to-head in the welterweight as well as the featherweight divisions. So what's the big prize, you might ask? Not just belts, but immortality. Now, this is more than a competition, guys. I mean, it's about crowning the first ever PFL Africa champions, fighters who will forever define what it means, though, to reign supreme in African MMA. Now, before we step into the cage, we are joined by 2 trailblazers who are shaping this bold new future. We're going to be heading off to the United States of America in the center of the New York City. We got the CEO of PFL going to be joining us in just a second. He is also a board member of the Professional Fighters League and also live here in studio, Justin Tinsey, director of PFL Africa, the visionary who is leading this historic chapter forward. Let me start with somebody that I can see face to face here. Justin, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Robert. What an honor.
You were excited, I think, when we got the brief sometime last week and we spoke about it with the team. We said, wow, this is massive. We can't not have it on the show. How are you feeling and what's led to us being here?
Wow, we are so excited. I think I echo that for MMA fans worldwide, but especially here on home turf in Africa. Well, maybe not home turf for me, but adopted home turf here in Africa. And we're super excited to bring this incredible sport that's growing so fast to the continent and provide an ecosystem for the sport here on the continent. So fighters can, be on their journey. They don't have to go to Europe. They don't have to go to the US. They can do it, from their home country, whether that's Gambia or Senegal, South Africa, Rwanda. We're coming. So We're excited.
I mean, what's inspired all of this? What's inspired the launch of PFL Africa, and why is this the right moment right now?
Well, I think the launch was really kind of, let's say, fast-tracked by our chairman of PFL Africa, Francis Ngannou, obviously 2-time world heavyweight champion of MMA. And, he really had this vision that said, well, if you look at his own story, which many MMA fans and others, I think, globally recognize, he had to use his own term, take the back door into Europe to make this, to make his career and to make his passion a reality. And, I think he recognized that he wants to afford Africans the opportunity to not do what he did, right? And to make sure that there's a league on the continent, Pan-African, in which the best of the best can compete, and and have a system that recognizes talent on home turf. So
yeah, because sometimes it's a bit difficult though for anybody to kickstart their career, because they know MMA, you got to go outside. Although within a South African perspective, we can also proudly say that we've had somebody who's given it the unique global appeal, although on a different level. So this time around, when Africans who are listening to the show right now say, is this the possibility now for them to kickstart their international appeal, the global appeal for the spectacle, to have it start here with the two, the one in Joburg and the one in Cape Town that we'll talk about later? Is that pretty much the idea?
Yes. In short, yes, that's the idea. This is the time. This is the time that they can think about that, international spotlight from a regional, internationally recognized league, which is PFL Africa. But it's not just South Africa. I think that's what's super exciting, and I think what sets us apart. This is truly a Pan-African league. So after these two fights, which of course this is our inaugural season, we're going to head to East Africa, and then we're going to head to West Africa for the finals. So it's going to be, it's an opportunity for fighters to have an international spotlight by first kind of conquering, the continent, so to speak.
Right. Let me go live now to New York, and that is where you got Peter Murray, PFL CEO, coming through live from the United States and New York. Peter, we're having a celebration here in the studio. You're all the way in New York. Welcome to the show.
Robert, great to be here. Thank you.
How excited are you here? I mean, Justin's just laid the foundation so beautifully for us, already getting social media interaction, people extremely excited. I mean, they can't wait for us to put more meat on the bone of why this is important. Why is it important for you? And firstly, congratulations.
Yeah, we're very excited about PFL Africa, as Justin just touched on. This is our third international league that was launched. We have PFL Europe up and running. We have PFL MENA in the Middle East up and running and growing, and now PFL Africa. And it's really part of the PFL's global expansion plan. We'll have 6 international leagues up and running in the next 2 years. After Africa, we have PFL Pacific in Australia launching later this year. Next year, LATAM, and what will follow is PFL Asia. But PFL Africa, really it's about opportunity. And it's first and foremost opportunity for the great athletes and fighters across on the roster this year. We have 14 nations represented from the continent, incredible athletes across 4 weight classes, all competing to become champion of PFL Africa. And this is history. It's part of the PFL. It's part of our global vision to advance and grow the sport around the world and give fighters an opportunity to compete in a format that's based on merit. We have a first round, semifinals, and then, a championship. And these fighters earn their way to the championship and becoming champions. And as was touched on earlier by Justin, Francis Ngannou, he's a great partner. And Francis and I came together roughly 5 years ago and talked about our collective vision for PFL Africa. And no better leader than Francis to identify, develop the next generation of great African athletes and fighters and future champions than Francis. I think you're familiar with his journey, having had to trek through the desert and to be over the water, and with several attempts with such great adversity, to become a professional fighter. And now Francis gets to go back with the PFL to develop that next generation who don't have to leave the continent, and they'll be supported properly as professional athletes and fighters under our system.
And as you talk, listening very carefully to what you're saying, Peter, I mean, what resources, though, as well as support will, PFL provide to ensure that fighters have got what we call a pathway to international success?
Yeah, I mean, we're committing. I mean, PFL Africa is Africa's MMA league. It's established on the continent. As I mentioned, we have fighters across 14 countries competing. The events will be staged in Africa, as we touched on. We're really excited about the launch of Cape Town, July 19, and then, follow that up with Johannesburg. We'll be making announcements for the remainder of the season, semis in October, the finals in West Africa in December. So we're committing. We're putting resources in place to develop the fighters, support their training and their competition, and then more broadly, giving fans access, throughout the continent. We've announced Canal Plus proudly as one of our core media partners. In the coming weeks, we'll be announcing the full slate of both linear and streaming and mobile partners throughout the continent. Fans will have access to PFL Africa, all events in time zone, prime time. It really is, our vision that MMA and PFL is the preferred property to be a top 3 sport across the continent. And that's absolutely feasible.
Now, when you get back home here, Justin, and you're taking a look at what Johannesburg and Cape Town will offer, maybe just take us behind the scenes. I mean, what went into organizing Cape Town and Joburg, 2 fantastic venues? I mean, I've personally been to both of them for different reasons, whether it was musical or boxing, but it always been great spectacles. Give us a bit of what happened behind the scenes.
Well, no, our team
so much has happened behind the scenes. I think, as Pete just mentioned, on the broadcasting side, working with some incredible partners and, really setting that up for, international airways. But then locally, we have a series of partners. And I think, just being at both venues recently and realizing the kind of large but intimate feel that each venue offers, I think we're really excited to offer, floor seating, VIP seating for our network of partners. We're going to make sure we, and so many people have already confirmed, but so many in the MMA community, we want there front and center because they helped pioneer the sport here and they are continuing to across Africa. And so this is, the prime time for the sport, I think, in both of those venues. In terms of marketing and sales, we have some incredible partners, Primedia, et cetera. We have already sold out more than half of seats available for Cape Town. And Joburg has just been announced, and we're going live with ticket sales on Thursday. So, we are really coming in at very competitive prices for our tickets. So, and we want MMA, on the one hand, we understand that the MMA community is super excited about this. But on the other hand, we understand MMA is a sport for all. Yeah. So people say, well, what's your demographic? And we say, can we say everyone? Yeah. Because that's really what it is. So
fight fans.
Yeah, we're really excited. A lot of thought went into that pricing scheme as well behind the scenes to make sure that we cater to, to the local environment. So lots going into it, and we'll continue to.
Just for an unexperienced fan, in inverted commas, that will be stepping close to the venue itself, because people sometimes outside of the fights themselves, they enjoy a great live experience. So have you given that some thought? What do they expect in between? Or is it a bumper to bumper, back to back kind of schedule?
Oh yeah, we've given it a lot of thought, and we're going to have events throughout the entire week. We call it Fight Week. And we'll be, probably there'll be reels about what happens that week for many months after and maybe years after. So there'll be events around the city, Cape Town and Joburg. We'll have, some visits to gyms. We'll have our fighters out there on town to show, what is the best, Cape Town and Joburg have to offer. We'll be visiting local gyms. We'll be really engaging the community and where these fighters are from. And so, in addition to that, we also have a partner called Afro Nation. Now, Afro Nation is known globally as kind of the spot to listen to and enjoy live African music, particularly with the diaspora. And, they'll be coming in to support us for music, but also parties surrounding each event. So stay tuned. It's going to be a big party.
Yeah, we're going to listen carefully as well. As I said, that there are two fantastic prizes that we're going to be giving away. In fact, I think Justin as well as Peter have been more than generous to bring these through here onto MSW, saying that 5 VIP tickets for you and 4 of your friends. If you want in, it is pretty simple. After the break, you're going to take your calls 011-883-8947. Otherwise, send us a WhatsApp voice note 060-708-048 for any questions or comments. Please be a part of it. And I'm talking to you down in Cape Town as well as you here in Johannesburg.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time.
MSW. That V word on your receipts. A big fat 15%. It feels like your rand's always doing a runner. But there's another V, one adding real value. Until the end of June, Volvo is saving you 15% on selected vehicles, like the XC60 starting from 840,140. With 15% back in your pocket, this V is where it's at. With Volvo, it's safe to be brave. Offer valid until 30 June 2025. Contact your nearest dealer to book a test drive. T's and C's apply.
It's Harold's Net Florist Hotline. Says we're on the line.
Harold, I asked my dad if he had any good dad jokes. He asked me to look in the mirror.
Ouchie, mama.
And I was just about to make him a macaroni necklace for Father's Day.
Whoa, don't go proving him right.
So what do I do?
Go to Net Florist and send him a customized snack crate or a personalized apron that says mid-tier roaster, top-tier dad. First 1,000 orders get free lunch jockeys.
Think he'll say sorry?
Dads don't say sorry. They just make you a burry roll and nod. Net Florist. It's easy to show you care.
Mid-year mega deals have dropped at Leroy Merlin, and we're giving you up to 50% off. Get the Sensia Easy Close coupled toilet with dual flush. Was $2,499, now just $1,999. Or grab the 5-watt power-up solar floodlight with sensor for only $299. Previously $343. Shop our 50% off mid-year mega deals in-store and online from 30 May to 29 June. Leroy Merlin. Make your home the best place to live. T's and C's apply.
The Bucky Bonanza is in 2 years and I'm only getting my rewards in 4 years. My Bucky won't be ready.
4 years, bro?
Yeah.
I'm with My Way and I will be getting my cash back in just 2 years.
What?
My Bucky will have all the accessories. No yada yada.
Introducing My Cashback from My Way. Stay claim-free for just 2 years and get 10% of your premiums back to live your way. Go to myway.co.za and get a quote today. My Cashback is a feature on qualifying products paid after 2 claim-free years and all premiums paid. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
Rugby fans, this one's for you. Lock in your Lions membership starting from just 750 Rand, which automatically enters you into the draw to join the Lions on an unforgettable overseas rugby adventure, as well as other exclusive Lions membership benefits. Get yours now to experience the best local and international rugby at the world's most iconic stadium. Go to lionsrugby.co.za and sign up today.
Did you know that Lotto Star gives you real money back doing what you enjoy the most? You heard right. We're the only online betting company that rewards you with real ka-ching for simply placing bets on your favorite games. To date, we've paid out over 250 million Rand in star rewards. Visit lottostar.co.za, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Firing questions here. Rulani Mugana is my guest. And you turned down Zamalek.
I was told that I was on the short list, and they said no, but we have other coaches on the list. Unfortunately, the guy who said that he mentioned Coach Pitso's name, and I said I unfortunately I cannot see myself competing against Coach Pitso. It wouldn't sit right with me. He's done far too much, and he's far ahead of me for me to even think of being in competition for a position. To compete for a position at a club, for me is, I just don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just does not feel right for me.
Again, the P word of principles does come through as well.
#MSW. #MSW.
Talking about global expansion, talking about a revolution, and that is what we are here about here tonight. Hashtag MSW. We got PFL CEO live from the United States of America. In New York is Peter Murray, and right here in studio, Justin Tinsley is here. PFL Africa Director is with us, taking your calls, as I said, for that competition. But before we take those calls, I want to go back to the CEO, Peter Murray. I mean, you've heard our conversation here with Justin. Obviously, a couple of callers that are going to be coming through. I mean, if you talk about eventually, now we're looking long term, we're looking at the dream of what we can do. I mean, how do you foresee this growing? If you had to project, let's say, 5 years' time from now, where would you want to see this positioned?
Yeah, I think you got to start with the sport. As I touched on earlier, Robert, we believe MMA will be a top 3 sport across the continent. This is the start. And, we have 4 events this year. I mean, this is really historic. In Cape Town, we're not only launching Africa's first major MMA league, PFL Africa, but we're bringing global stars to commemorate the moment. PFL Champion Series, which is our premier, franchise, will have world title fight on top of that card. Johnny Evelyn, Castillas Denise, Dakota Decheva, major stars to commemorate this moment. And, going forward, we envision MMA being a top 3 sport. We envision PFL Africa to be the #1 property across the continent, and we'll produce global champions. I mean, the fighters who are debuting in PFL Africa July 19 in Cape Town will have the opportunity to compete to become regional PFL Africa champions. And for those champions who do make it through and raise that belt at the end of the year in West Africa, will have the opportunity to come up to the PFL World Tournament on a global stage to compete against some of the best athletes around the world, not just around the continent. So this is very much about creating opportunity and pathways for fighters to become regional PFL champions in Africa and then on to the World Tournament stage. So in 5 years' time, there'll be over 20 regional PFL Africa champions to 30, and a subset of them will be competing on the world stage on the PFL World Tournament, and I have no doubt will produce world champions. And you look at other geographies, right? Parts of the world that are producing some of the best MMA fighters, from Brazil to Dagestan, throughout Europe. And we believe Africa is absolutely that next frontier to showcase the incredible athletes, the incredible fighters who will be future global champions.
Thanks so much, Peter. Don't go anywhere. Let's see if we can navigate a VIP experience for 2 of our listeners. Jessica is in Alberton. Jessica, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I think the way you sound excited, I am excited for you even before we ask you the question. Are you good?
I'm so good. And you?
I'm fantastic. You're a lover of MMA, I can take.
Well, a very, very, very good friend of mine is actually fighting in Cape Town.
Really? Who?
Yes. Nkosi, the future in Ndebele. He's just joined PFL and he's got his first fight with them.
Nkosi Ndebele. Have you seen him fight?
Sorry?
Have you watched him fight live?
Yes. Not live, no, not yet, because he used to fight internationally. So it's his first time being on home ground now, so...
All right. We want to give you a 5-star VIP experience, not just for you, but for you and 4 of your friends. We got a very simple question here. Justin will ask it. I'm not going to be the one holding that responsibility. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go for it. Jessica is ready. Go for it, Just.
All right, Jessica. On the 19th of July in Cape Town, Justin Clark faces Cameroonian heavyweight Jashel Tisha Awa. So my question is, what nationality is Justin Clark?
South African.
Oh,
She
okay.
got it.
Yeah.
All right, without hesitation.
That was quick. Do you know which friends you're going to be taking?
Sorry, yes, I definitely do. I do.
Okay. Fantastic. So I take it you're in Alberton. You want to go to the Joburg leg and not the Cape Town leg?
I mean, as much as I'd love to go to Cape Town to support Nkosi, Joburg would be just as great.
All right, fantastic. You know what? You are our winner today, Jessica. Well done. Congratulations. And those 5 VIP tickets are going to be on your way. Thank you so much. See you there.
Thank you. Have a beautiful evening.
Highly appreciated, man. So that's our first winner, Jessica in Alberton. Yash is in Santon. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. How are you?
I'm very good. Yash, are you also another big MMA fan?
Well, pretty much I enjoy UFC, general sports like that. Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. All right. So you love sports and you would love to take 4 of your friends for a VIP experience to either Joburg or Cape Town. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Okay. All right. Let's get down to it. Justin.
All right. The question is, which arena in Cape Town will host the PFL Africa fights next month? Now, I know you said you're coming to Joburg, but this is a question. What arena in Cape Town?
Grand West Arena?
Oh, Grand West.
He got it without hesitation.
Right. Nice one, Yash. Nice one. And I'm obviously taking it that you got 4 friends that you want to take along for this VIP experience, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for giving us a call, man.
Cheers.
Enjoy, watch, and do take lots and lots of photos. And I think just given that experience, Peter, let's wrap it up with you. It does sound like South Africans are ready for this.
Oh, yeah. No, there's so much demand for the sport and PFL and interest in what we're doing. So we're incredibly excited. It's an honor and a privilege to stage our first event ever in Cape Town tied to the inaugural PFL Africa season. It is actually history in the making, and it's going to be a great moment.
All right. Looking forward to having you when you're down here in Johannesburg, Peter, or Cape Town. When are you flying down to SA?
Yeah, as Justin said, Fight Week. We have a whole slew of activities created, adjacency events. So we'll be in the market, spending time with partners and, of course, fans and alongside the fighters as they prepare for their debut.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you pop around, and let's have another conversation live here in studio. Thank you so much indeed for your time, and thanks as well for making sure that the spectacle receives all the attention that it deserves. And we'll certainly right here as Primedia 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, Sowetan Live, make sure that everything goes according to plan. Thanks so much, Peter.
Hey, thank you, Robert. Thanks, Justin. See you guys. See you soon. Cheers.
Cheers so much, man. That's Peter Murray coming through from New York in the U.S. Justin, just a quick final word from you.
We're excited. We said we were coming. We're here. Let's do it. Let's build this league and have fun doing so.
All right. Let me see if I got a second for this.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Peter. Rob, this is a very exciting initiative, and it's going to bring about stability and give the athletes who are professional fighters something to brag about, being in a sport that is a bit professional in a way, listening to the vision from the CEO. But I just want to find out, beyond the playing and the fighting days of these athletes, what are the plans to ensure that even those who get injured through the sports are taken care of? Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much indeed. You can answer that in 15 seconds.
I mean, we're with the fighters throughout. So we're a fighters first culture, comprehensive support for them, health insurance, etc. throughout their time at the PFL, and we just what's best for them is best for us.
Okay, love that. Thank you so much indeed. Lots of other voice notes. I'll play them out though, but coming up in a second, Anthony Shelton is here, Gridiron Flag football team coach. What on earth is that, you might be asking? Find out.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Firing questions here. Rulani Mugana is my guest. Was it before you left the country, there was talk and it was informed conversations about your possibility of going to Richards Bay? Am I correct in terms of that?
That is true.
That is true.
That is true. After I was given an article where Mr. Jomo Biela said that they did not speak to me. And I was really perplexed because I was asking myself, but why would he say that? You know, when I've even got pictures, I spent a weekend in Richards Bay, but then it also said to me, yeah, but then you've done well not to work with these type of people, because it would be very difficult to work with someone who can openly lie about that type of situation, because speaking to me,
it's not a crime.
It's not a crime, and at that time I was unemployed.
Yeah, and you've got the evidence.
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Robert Marawa, and to the Marawa faithful. Robert, to your guests, I would like to say thank you for granting us the opportunity to see some live MMA. I think that I was fortunate enough growing up to have a cousin that knew the world, so getting exposed to MMA fights, and then growing up watching those type of events, and now finally having the opportunity to see them live, I think that is amazing. And then because unfortunately some sports are on the map and some not, so this allows us as South Africans to also have a sport that we can say live, and not just watch fight morning hours every other day and every other month, but to have it in our own backyard. So I think this is very, very exciting times, and then we hope it can just grow and become one of the big ones. So thank you so much, man. Cheslin from Boksburg.
Cheslin, thank you. And I appreciate that a lot of you are absorbing this as much as I'm absorbing it, because sometimes you got to veer away from the usual cricket, rugby, soccer, netball, golf, etc., and get into territory that we are not very familiar with. And that is why that we're going to be stepping off the beaten path of traditional sports and diving into what we call a fast-paced, high-energy world of flag football. So South Africa's national flag football team, Gridiron South Africa, is gearing up for a major showdown. They've headed to Cairo, Egypt, to compete in the IFAF Flag Football Continental Championship, which is proudly flying the flag of Mzansi with passion and a great deal of purpose. But what's it all about? I mean, this is just the beginning, isn't it? Now, this team has its sights set on an even bigger stage. Listen to this. It is the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, where flag football will make its long-awaited Olympic debut. Now, joining us to talk about the Games, the preparation, as well as the road to Olympic glory, is the man who is leading the charge. He is the head coach, Anthony Shelton. Anthony, good to see you. Welcome to Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Looking forward to it. I mean, when I saw LA first, and I was like, okay, let me not watch the news. It's only 2025 because, whatever drama is happening there will not be happening in 2028. But getting back to this, the invention of it, the idea behind it, because a lot of people that I spoke to today said they haven't heard about it. Tell me more.
Yeah, so flag football, it's actually been around since World War II. It's a variation of tackle football. So a lot of people have heard of the NFL, Tom Brady, probably one of the most popular NFL players. And so people have heard of it. They've maybe seen a little bit of it, but don't really understand. It's not extremely popular outside of the United States.
And why is that, though?
Well, contact football is extremely expensive. The gear, the equipment, the helmets, the shoulder pads, it's very, very expensive for safety reasons.
Yeah.
As you've probably been familiar with the concussion protocols that are now in place for a variety of sports, that has increased the demand for higher quality equipment, and that makes it a whole lot more expensive outside of the West and the United States in particular. So it's not really caught on. That's why flag football has been such an exciting invention that started during World War II when troops were away, and it was just touch. It's kind of like touch rugby, just a variation without the contact. So,
a lot of people were saying that it's touch rugby with shoulder pads.
The flag football version is a fast-paced, as you mentioned, non-contact variety of American football. So you take the pads away, take the helmet off, and instead of tackling people, you put a belt around their waist that has flags attached to it, and that's the way that you tackle tackle the player. The defense comes at the offensive player, pulls that flag, and that ends the play. And so the same principles apply. You use the same ball. You can throw the ball, run the ball in the same kind of manner as what you would see in the NFL, but without the contact.
I mean, you're heading off to Cairo now, as I mentioned.
Yes.
I mean, you're on the brink of making history now. I mean, what's the preparation like? What's the mood in the camp? Give us some insight.
There's so much excitement. Yeah. So obviously, as it being a new sport, that has been a little bit challenging in the selection process. A lot of times when you select for a team that is going to travel internationally, you want to get a large pool, especially from a country as large as South Africa. So we held a number of tryouts here in Gauteng, in the Free State, as well as in the Western Cape. We had around 50 participants come out. It was an open trial. Anyone could have come out. Some people didn't because they weren't 100% sure.
Sure, yeah.
But it was free to anyone. We didn't select any players. We didn't handpick anybody. They just come out and they had to participate.
But what did
in
you
the trial.
find, though, in terms of just the raw talent that was coming through and hoping for the best?
That was the beauty of it. We have players that have a background in basketball, in cricket, in rugby, in soccer, a variety of sports. And just because of the natural talent that exists here in the country was really quite phenomenal. Players that had never handled an American football before. All of a sudden, I'm watching thinking there's something special about this person. And that has been really exciting. And then to see the players come together over the last few weeks from these different backgrounds, different parts of the country has been really, really exciting to see the camaraderie that is coming around this new exciting sport. And everyone's kind of learning and growing together. And it's been really fun.
All right. And I urge anybody who is familiar with the sport, or maybe not even familiar with the sport, to give us a call. Any questions or comments, Anthony Shelton is here to answer them. We're going to come back. We'll talk about the road to Cairo, which are some of the teams we need to look out for.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
If you've got places to be, people to see, and love getting to your destination swiftly, then this one's for you. Africa's most on-time airline, FlySafair, has teamed up with the zippiest car brand, Suzuki, for another epic giveaway. Simply book a flight with FlySafair before 31 July 2025, and you could be driving off in one of 5 brand new Suzuki Swifts. Live life in the fast lane. Book at flysafair.co.za now. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
Telljoy's turning 56 and you get the gifts. Rent now and own later with no upfront costs. Enjoy flexible month-to-month rentals, free delivery and maintenance with risk cover, all included. Celebrate with big birthday deals on DeFi, Skyworth, Samsung, Medea and Beko. Need to cancel, upgrade or downgrade your product? No problem. It's all on your terms. Hassle and stress-free. Rent smart and live easy. Visit telljoy.co.za today.
It's that time of the year. Sore throats, congestion, wet and dry coughs, pain and fever. For trusted relief for you and your family, ask your pharmacist to recommend a winter survival pack from the Adcock Ingram OTC range. With products like Medikil A, Expigen, Corenza Parac, Adconapamol, Dilinct Junior and more, we have you covered this winter. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Some say South Africa's math is not mathing. But look, get budget car insurance this June and save up to 10%. Plus, add only 10 Rand per month for scratch and dent cover. And what do you get? 365 days of saving hundreds. Come on, SA, do the math and hurry to budgetinsurance.co.za. It's for June only. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent and reviewed annually. T's and C's online.
They say good things come in threes, but great things? That's Spur's Big 3 combo. Get 200 grams of juicy pork ribs, a tender chicken thigh, and 125 grams of Vors, served with golden chips and Spur-style crispy onion rings, all for just $149.90. Only at a Spur near you till 22 June. Spur, people with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
Big banks weren't built for small businesses, so we built something better. We made Lula, South Africa's first business-only banking suite. We reimagined banking and funding to give your business more. Like a relationship banker who cares enough to remember your name and access to funding in as little as 24 hours. We're more than a bank. We're Lula. Visit lula.co.za and experience business class banking and funding today. Powered by Access Bank. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
We kind of go deep into the mind of Rulani Mokoena, a tactician at war, a visionary in motion. There's a coaching side, there's also a human side, and I think one has been able and privileged to know a balance of both.
First, I think it's because of people like yourself are an inspiration. I think what you've achieved, not just in football and in the space of entertainment, but also in your life and having the privilege of reading your book. I know your journey. I know you also deserve your flowers, you know, and what you see in others is sometimes a reflection of the person that you are. So you see in me what you are yourself, and we have to also thank you for inspiring us.
Unexpected, sir. I think you should have less of that coffee. I appreciate you.
It's amazing, so amazing, so amazing, so amazing.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Anthony Shelton is the name, Gridiron Flag football team coach. That's his title, but I think he wears many hats, as we've been chatting during the break as well. But if you want to find out any questions, comments, 011-883-8947. Otherwise, send us a WhatsApp voice note to get more insight. And as I said, heading off to Cairo, some of the biggest names now. Who do we need to be looking out for? Who are the biggest threats to South Africa's cause? And can we overcome them?
You know, I think that is one of the toughest questions to answer because the sport is so new on the continent. I mean, it's growing in the world. It's got several really good teams in the European markets, but here in Africa, there's really not a precedent. So we really don't know. If I were to venture to guess, I would say that maybe Nigeria is one of those teams, simply because of Osio Mignora, who was he's one of the NFL advocates from Nigeria, played in the NFL, Super Bowl champion. So there's been a lot of efforts there, but generally there's no precedent. So we really don't know, which is a nice clean slate. It's both terrifying and extremely exciting at the same time because we don't really know how to pan.
I really say exciting because that could be you. That could be South Africa.
Absolutely.
You could be leading the charge and then you become the benchmark.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're the standard we're trying to set. We have our plans are in place. We have people from all around the world that are really invested in making South Africa have the best opportunity possible. We've got there is an NFL player, Dieter Asselin. He went to Yale University, has been in the NFL for the past 5, I believe, entering his 6th year now. So he has been a big supporter. We have some gentlemen from Europe that have been supporting us and helping try to establish this. So I do believe that we can be the benchmark.
When you talk about helping us, that's the part that I would love to know, though, because we have associations here. So I don't know, because does it fit within the South African Football Association? Does it fit within SASCOG because it's about representation? And being now an Olympic sport, it would fall within a SASCOG umbrella. Do they give you in any way, form, shape, or manner support?
So at this point, Gridiron South Africa is in the process of trying to finalize their application. They've submitted an application with SASCOG. As you mentioned, being an Olympic sporting code, we have to follow those certain guidelines. So that is actually in the process. So there is not an actual officially recognized American football governing body here in South Africa, but Gridiron South Africa is in the process and has applied for said status. So with that, it has made some of that support a little bit more difficult. Not because I don't think there's not people willing and a desire, it's just there's protocol that has to be worked through. And so that has created a little bit more challenges as it, financially, and so it's been a little bit difficult.
So what's the challenge, though? Because the one thing I can tell you, though, very honestly, that we at times are here to make sure that those challenges fall by the wayside. If there's a political will, if there's a sporting will, whatever will that there is, that will has to happen. Like if it means having to give a call to the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, and say, hey, Gayton, do you know about the sport? Do you know that it's an Olympic sport? And if it is an Olympic sport, you go there and you sing Nkosi Sigelela, you sing the national anthem, you carry the South African flag. So therefore, there's got to be recognition one way or the other so that this takes the load off your shoulder. You focus on what you need to do and what the team needs to do.
Yeah, that is obviously our desires to represent the country and do so with honor and with pride. That may sound funny for some of you listening, hearing my American accent, but I've spent a lot of years here on the continent. My daughters were all born here in South Africa, and some of the answers to some of the more technical questions I would have to default to the Gridiron Leadership Board. Unfortunately, they're not able to join us today
which
here
is
in the
fine.
studio.
At least we've laid the market down,
right?
And it's up to us as well as a show to take it forward and ask them to come through, because I think it really needs to be laid out.
I think so too. I mean, this is truly an opportunity that is far bigger than what people realize. It may be a sport that is not overly popular here in Africa or in South Africa in general, but there is genuinely an opportunity to represent the nation in the nation's colors in Los Angeles in 28. I mean, that's the dream, right? Like that's what we want. Every year, the world gathers to watch those Olympic Games, and we with pride watch sports that we're not even interested in, and we cheer for them. I mean, Americans are not interested in swimming, but man, we get behind those swimmers like it's the greatest event ever.
And we got some of the greatest swimmers as well. So that's all I'm saying is that we also need to up the medal count for South Africa.
Agreed.
So if you have an opportunity as well for a kid that actually doesn't know, they're a sporting kid, maybe it's been rejected in multiple sports, but here's a window that opens up. And we were talking quite interestingly, I even said, let's keep quiet, guys, let's take this on air, was about just the tactics. So we visualize it's 5 people in a team, and I know that usually it's pretty quick, it's tactical, etc. Just give us an overview of some of the dynamics or the rules of the game, just so that somebody who's driving right now can have a visual impression of what this is about.
Sure. So the field, the pitch itself is smaller than a typical American football or a soccer pitch. So it's about half the size, only 50 yards, which is just shy of 50 meters long, with 2 end zones. That's the scoring areas, and it's only 25 yards wide. And so each team had 5 aside. They have 4 downs to get to midfield. And then they have 4 more downs, which is a try, 4 attempts to get to midfield, and then 4 more to score a touchdown, unless there's some sort of penalty that might add an additional try. And so the pace is extremely quick. The person in the back, it's called the quarterback. He's the one that receives the ball at the beginning. He is only allowed to throw the ball unless he's the second person touching the ball, and then he can run. So there's certain rules. He then has 7 seconds to get rid of it. So he can't just stand in the back watching and waiting. He has to do something fairly quick, and that 7 seconds goes by a lot faster when you're playing the position.
And under pressure.
And there's a rusher. There's someone, that person has to stand 7 yards off of the original starting line, and then they can rush directly unimpeded to pull the flag. So you've got somebody coming at you trying to pull your flag, but you can't go. There's only certain areas you can go to. So it makes it very quick, very fast-paced. You have to see the defense, have good vision, make good decision-making, and then, of course, you want the person receiving the ball to catch it.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Fulfilang here, and good evening to the MSW Shoulders. And good evening to the coach, Anthony Shelton. I'm very, very intrigued and very, very excited to hear that there are, these type of sports that, are not in the same limelight as your big 3, like your footballs, your rugbies, your crickets, and even athletics, you know what I mean? So just a question to the coach. LA 2028 is coming up. We're far, but not far, given how time flies so quickly. Next thing, you'll be months away from the Olympic Games, which will be taking place in Los Angeles. Flag football will be making its appearance. It would be, presented to the world. Is there the hope, that you would want to capitalize on these opportunities and these tournaments like the one that you're going into Cairo to, bolster your squad and maybe look ahead into the LA Olympic Games? Because it would be nice to actually see a South African team represent the country in such a stage like the Olympics. I don't think there's any athlete that does not want to be in the Olympics. I mean, it's every athlete's dream. It's every coach's dream. Do you see yourself and this current team looking ahead into the Olympics by taking advantage of these tournaments like the one that's coming up in Cairo? Great show as always. Thanks.
Tulefalang, thank you so much indeed. Coach?
Oh, fantastic question. Absolutely. Yeah. We are absolutely planning and preparing for the future. So this tournament in Cairo is a qualifying tournament towards the World Championships in 2026. And that will be held, we're not actually sure the dates, but generally it's sometime around this year in Europe. And so the winner gets an invite to those World Championships. From that tournament, then there are a selection of teams that will become automatic qualifiers to the Olympics. So theoretically speaking, this is only 2 steps away from qualifying to the Olympics. Now, there's a lot of other teams, USA, Mexico, Canada, Italy, Germany, they're all going to try to stand in the way and say, no, we want to take those slots. Yeah. But this is absolutely, we're preparing, we're hoping this is the start of a team that after Cairo, hopefully we're successful and then can come back and establish leagues and a process to further improve our squad and looking towards 26 already.
Well, I see you guys. I see each and every one of you who's driving right now trying to send us a message, and you're a parent and you're saying to us, wow, this flag football sounds exciting for my kid. I hope we've broken it down to you as well as we could. And believe you me, we're going to make sure that we are part of the journey and we take nothing less than Olympic qualification. And when that happens, yay, guys.
How's it, Rob? Great show as always. Just want to wish Anthony and the team all the best in Cairo as they compete for a continental championship. My question to him actually is, I'm a big American football fan, and my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, just won the Super Bowl. So my question to him is, what's his favorite American football team, and who's his best player? Interestingly, some of the American or some of the NFL players will be eligible to compete in the Olympics. So that's very exciting. But yeah, all the best. Thanks, Rob.
Appreciate it, man. He's played his cards out. He's told us who his favorite team is.
Yeah. Hey. Well, I am not an Eagles fan, although they did have a great season. I am a Miami Dolphins fan. So I have been a Dolphins fan since I was a little kid. My dad was a fan, and so that's kind of who I've pulled for. And I would say he didn't clarify if it's current favorite player or all-time favorite. So we're going to go with all-time. It's hard to go against my man Dan Marino, but I selected my personal number as a player was Joe Montana. I love Joe Montana as a quarterback. I loved watching him play. Oh, man, it's hard to pick. Now I'm thinking of Bo Jackson. I got so many names coming into my head right now. So I love the game.
It's beautiful. That's why I'm saying that whatever version of it comes to South Africa and whatever it is that we can ride on to improve just the status of such a sports-loving, sports-driven country like South Africa, let's go for it. But what drives you? If I had to ask you a personal question, because, sometimes some mountains seem a bit high to climb and to scale, and you say, this is never going to happen, but it's happening. You're where you are now. What drives you, Anthony?
Yeah. As exciting as it is to think about the Olympics, that is not my driving. That is not what motivates me. Sport has been part of my life for all of my life and has offered me a lot of opportunities in ways that I never would have expected. And I want sport to be something that is enjoyed by all people, regardless of their ability. That not everybody is Michael Jordan. Not everybody is Joe Montana. There's only one of those. And so we know that 99.999% of the athletes never make professional. So what drives me is establishing a system and a program that truly is accessible to all people and gives them the opportunity to I want to inspire purpose. I want to increase the participation. I want to improve the performance. I want people to have the opportunities that to fall in love with a sport, even if they're not necessarily good at it. It can truly
can change the world and change them.
The world, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
Can I brag on your behalf, though, because I can see you're not going to do that. So, you're the head coach of the SA flag football team. You're a two-time NERSA flag football national champion in 2007 for the men and also the co-ed leagues in 2007. Obviously became a head coach South Africa of 3-on-3 basketball teams, men and women. So basketball, guys, put that in the back of your mind. He's an athlete, experience, American football, flag football, basketball, athletics. He's there. And when you talk about coaching and sport management experience, he's done it in the United States of America between 2008 and 2012. He's been an assistant coach and team manager. He's headed over to Mozambique as a head coach, Russia as a head coach, US as a head coach, and again, South Africa as a head coach. USA Basketball Gold License Coach. Now, you look at somebody who's so multifaceted, multi-talented. I just wanted to end the show by bragging on your behalf and say that we got a worthy human being and a worthy champion that we're looking at right now. And the listeners across South Africa, Africa, and the world who are listening and watching the show can only say good luck to the team, good luck to you. We want Olympic qualification and medals, but most importantly, we want success in Cairo. We give you our full support, and we hope to come back and make us all proud. And thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Highly appreciated, guys. Join us again for another whirlwind. What a fun evening it's been today. Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Hashtag MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same time.